to hell. No return. Let's annihilate. Mega to the flames.
Send them straight to hell. Hypocrites crying while your dear leader cast a spell. Racist, misogynist edition on the 6 Epstein territory warmonger, make them twitch.
What about my eggs? What about my gas? Groceries high as hell. You blame Biden, blame Kamala, now Trump's ringing the bell. Tariffs on Liberation Day, I ran war sky high prices. Your lies exposed, no disguises. Zeus sends you to the vices to hell.
Maga straight to hell.
Bullet annihilate, ring the funeral bell.
Maga straight to hell.
Ring the funeral bell.
You claim the high road, but walk with the worst. Racism in your veins, misogyny rehearsed. January 6th edition, storming like a mob. Further right, Epstein files, birds of the same flock. Warmonger dreams, bombs dropping on Iran. Gas prices skyrocket, feel the pain in every skin. You scream by Biden's eggs, Kamala's grocery cart. Now under your king, inflation tearing worlds apart. Honest, Zeus here, humble but precise. You flip the script daily, living in denial and vice. Most handsome truth teller, exposing every lie. Mega man slipping, watch your empire die.
Mega to the flames.
Send them straight to hell. Send them straight to hell.
Mega to the flames.
Send them straight to hell. Send them straight to hell.
Yeah, Liberation Day tariffs, you called it victory grand. Now shelves empty, costs rising across the land. Complaints you heard at the left, now triple under Trump. Gas through the roof from the war that you trumped. Hypocrites unified in selective memory, ignore the facts. Bow to your leaders, felony from border rants to endless grieving shows. Zeus annihilates, expose, decompose.
Answer mine is humble, the triple threat complete. You MAGA pawns scatter, defeated in defeat. No redemption, off your path leads below. Straight to hell's gates where the real fires flow.
Every accusation you leveled at the other side bounces back harder. Can't run, can't hide. Racism, misogyny, sedition, endless war. Your dear leader delivers worse than before. Zeus speaks truth, no filter, no fear. Social media's beacon crystal clear. Pack your hypocrisy, your lies, your disdain. The descent begins eternal flame.
Mega to the
flames.
Send them straight to hell.
Zeus wins, Triple H reigns.
Honest, humble, handsome, forever unchanged. Mega straight to hell. Mega straight to hell.
To hell.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Thunderdome. Once again, we got more work to do. Let's get it going. Wow, Straight Facts Raid. Good morning, Ange. Good morning to every single one of you. Wow. Look at this. It's incredible. Wow, look at you all coming in. Grab a chair, get a seat. Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we came to do. No lies detected. Let's go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the
Crash
trash.
day. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class.
You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass. Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so
How many of you have gasoline in your cars right now? Let's talk.
How we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you get your famous.
Ooh, that algorithm turned me to a mania. Let's go.
I guess we going viral 'cause my son.
You got gas in your car, Greg?
I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet.
Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. Let's go.
And if they is my ex, that mean they left me. They don't
Tell
care
them, Alicia.
they bless me. I say
Oh my
it with
God.
my chest 'cause I mean it.
All right, here it goes.
Got a lot of confidence and I'm conceited.
Here it goes, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of my favorite parts, really. It hits so
I'ma
hard.
take
Here goes.
off in a spaceship.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in
It's a
couple
lie.
of days. That shit was radical.
Thank you so much,
It was
Henry.
horrible.
Yeah.
Like you've gone, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
Oh,
It's like deja vu.
I've
It's
gone.
like deja vu.
I've gone way off the rails. You gotta be kidding me.
It's like deja vu.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. Yeah, I got my account back. You know, they say there's some adjustments that I do need to make on the show, so we'll try to see if I can do it. But yes, we got the account back. You know, We're going to keep on doing this. This is what happens, when you're a verified creator. You get a little bit more perks, they say, I guess, but who knows? But yes, once again, we're back in the Thunderdome here to do the work that it takes, honestly, to inform the American people, the voters out there who genuinely are interested in trying to save the United States of America using their vote. A lot of people don't understand it, but you have to vote. All right. You really have to vote. And with all the things that are going on here in the United States, what we want to do is to make sure that you don't go in there and do what they say 77 million people did the last election cycle when they literally voted to put Donald Trump back in office. And you ask these same people, well, what has Donald Trump done for you? And they can give us no answer. So I don't even think we debate. I don't think we debate MAGA anymore. We used to have a lot of these folks, but where we're at right now is we have to keep helping people understand the tricks that the Republicans are actually doing. They're doing some very, very good deceptive tricks out there to trick voters all over the country into voting for more of what's been going on here in the United States. And so before we get into that, let me take care of some very important housekeeping items. Yes, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. Honest, humble, and handsome, right? And I am the most in every single one of those categories. Yeah. Okay. And so, what I do, ladies and gentlemen, and I have a lot of great people helping me to do it, is we take a mirror. Have any of you, does anyone know what a mirror is, right? And you just go out there, you say what needs to be said. We got to keep it clean on the show. At least I do, right? Because I tend to get in trouble the most. Right, Zena? Let's go. And you just get out here and you share with the folks what's really, honestly, happening here in the United States of America, especially in the states, the red states, where they tend to ignore the suffering that's going on. W's in the chat for Shay, Cali girl. And so before I get started, let me do what I love to do and ask, is there anyone out there that still thinks it's an acceptable thing right now to honestly vote for the Republicans or support Donald Trump? Anyone out there still think I no matter what, I just can't vote for a Democrat? Are there people out there that still believe that? Or are we all on the same page that where we're at right now in politics? Let me just, I heard about Pam Bondi's diagnosis. It's really sad. I mean, what's happening in Trump's inner circle? Good morning, Great Skate. What's happening in Trump's inner circle? In a way, it's sad. In a way, it could be bittersweet. But I've always said since Trump's second term began, a lot of his supporters, they won't be here because everything that we're seeing coming out of the Trump administration seems to be making matters worse, I guess, for the American people. But, that's debatable in some spaces. But as far as I am concerned, I'm struggling. I go, well, what is one good thing Donald Trump has done, right? And so with that being said, are there any Trump voters out there? I just want to give you a heads up. We play around with facts. We don't dwell in misinformation and disinformation on this show. So if you cannot handle being honest, then you might want to leave this show because it will make you uncomfortable. I promise you it will. But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Why don't you just listen to your leader?
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Right, Blackbird.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay, too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not happy, you can leave.
You got the door. That's the last crackling of the lightning. And then the doors to the Thunderdome, they close. So once you're in, you're pretty much in. And the only way out, honestly, is you gotta just sit here and take the lesson and the information we're giving you. All right. So what I want to start out with is obviously one of my go-to topics is the gas prices. And a lot of people are watching Donald Trump and Iran, go back and forth in terms of a ceasefire. During Memorial Day, we did see the United States strike some Iranian military bases in the name of self-defense. And a lot of us have our concerns about that. But one thing that was brought to our attention, or brought to my attention, it was about the gas prices. It seems we will not be seeing gas prices we won't be seeing cheaper gas prices for a long time. And so what we'll do is we'll let this nice little video put together by the folks at CNN explain why.
So how long is it going to be before we actually start to see some relief? Look at this. This is where we were before the war started. This is where we are right now. There's a huge amount of time that it's going to take, according to the futures market, before we get back down to that sub $70 an oil level. Look at this, 2032. So you want $3 gas again, you're going to have to wait maybe 6 years.
6 years. Hopefully we'll have a new president by then. 6 years until we get cheaper gas. I mean, we'll get the gas back to where it was before Biden left office, at least. There are consequences, ladies and gentlemen, for voting for Donald Trump and the Republicans. And this is just an example of those consequences. If I were to ask all of you out there, especially the people who watch me from afar, I do know that I have a Trump voter out there watching this show. And they're sitting there saying to themselves, they don't want to click follow, but you should click follow, right? How many of you think the Trump voters should follow creators like Big Zeus so that they can actually learn from their mistakes, right? Let's go ahead and Miglo. Has anyone seen DJ lately? Because I'll be honest with you, I was bothered by his rhetoric the other day. He actually accused me of being pro-Iranian, and I said no. I'm not pro-Iranian. What I am is I'm about common sense. And anyone that is capable of observing and paying attention knows there's just no way you can explain to the American people why we have sky-high gas prices. I have never, and you saw them, I have never heard a good argument about why I should spend more when I go pump gas. Anyone out there got a good reason for why they should spend more when they pump gas? What's the best reason you've heard so far? Honestly, what's the best reason you could come up with to convince the average American who's usually on a fixed income, because they're not handing out raises. What's the best reason a person could come up with to make me spend an additional 50% more when I go to the gas station? Did you just say 2032? Yeah. Stephanie, 2032, because the facilities, from what I understand, that have been, destroyed, so to speak, or obliterated, you just can't open them back up the next day. You got to rebuild, especially when it comes to the LNG. We don't get any answers on this show, so that's a W, Zeus. And I know, as nice as I am, ladies and gentlemen, as nice as I appear to be, I believe the Trump voters know I'm really not that nice when it comes down to the truth. You watch these shows, I watched Jubilee. How many of you watched Jubilee the other day? And you see these Trump voters literally trying to defend everything the Trump administration is doing. And I sit here and I go, just put me on Jubilee, right? Just put Big Zeus on Jubilee. You would all get dog walked because it'd be one easy question. If you Trump voters, and you really believe you're as intelligent as you are, why is the United States in the situation it is in right now? That's all you got to ask them. Why is our gas prices so high, right? If just let them dig the ditch for themselves. Why is our grocery prices so? If you use all the intelligence you had AI, you had websites, you went and read court documents, and you used all that knowledge to go and vote for the worst president ever, why should we take you serious? I mean, seriously, that's a W, Zeus. And I would just literally I would just literally sit there with my legs crossed, and I just say, yeah, yeah, yeah. But could you just show us the evidence of the success that you've had since Donald Trump became the president? Honestly, because a lot of them, they run around here and they say, "Oh, I'm doing great financially." Well, show us your savings account, because we know we can't look at anything else, right? We can't look at anything else out there in the real world. So everything tied to what Donald Trump doing, being successful. You seem to be the only person that has it. And none of you ever publish this stuff on your social media platforms. You know, I go to these people's social media platforms, especially Blagga. Blagga is the best people to go to. And I'm like, especially because I know how we black folks can be at times, right? We love to brag, right? Don't black folks love to brag, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, we got to have the shiniest. We got to have the biggest. We got to have the best. We got to look the flyest, right? And I'm looking at Blagga like, so none of our ancestors' DNA is radiating out of any of the stuff you got going on? You're making all this money, but we don't see any signs of it. That's why I said, if you're going to go and vote again in November, honestly, think hard and long about what's really happening in your world, all right? Because the Republicans, I'm telling you, they're doing a lot of interesting tricks. And you know what? We'll talk about Texas. But yeah, I see the comments. People are saying, well, Zeus, what's going on with Pam Bondi? I say, well, we'll talk about Pam Bondi, but we got to ask ourselves what's going on with this situation right here. This was brought to my attention. How many of you are aware of this right here? How many of you are aware of this right here? Okay. Let me see. Hold on. This is Don Jr., ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Don Jr. just married the daughter of Epstein's personal banker. I mean, I don't keep up with this stuff right here, but when I see stuff like this, I say, wow. So they just literally playing in our faces. Donald Trump Jr. legally married Palm Beach solicit social elite. Whoa, too early. And model Bettina Anderson on May 21st, 2026 in West Palm Beach, Florida. With a private celebration in the Bahamas on May 23rd. It's amazing how people are falling in love when they're just literally able to profit so much under Donald Trump. Her late father, Harry Lloyd Anderson Jr., was president of Palm Beach National Bank and Trust Company. Epstein maintained accounts there since early 1990s. In 1998 and 1999, Anderson wrote a character reference letter for Epstein to the U.S. Virgin Islands Industrial Development Commission, describing him as a gentleman of the highest integrity, with an excellent reputation in our community to help secure tax breaks. Wow. This is what's going on. This is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, in the country right now. How many of you believe that character reference to be true? Does anyone out there think Epstein was a good person? Yeah, there's so much corruption going on in our government right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to make of it, but I just find it interesting that everywhere there's some corruption, we get these side stories. You know, I don't know what to say about it. What else do I want to talk about real quick? Because we were talking about interesting things. All right, W's in the chat from my brother Casso. What's going on, bro? My man right there coming in sturdy and early. Y'all show Casso some love and make sure you follow Casso. All right. Thank you, bro. All right. But yeah, what I want to talk about next, ladies and gentlemen, is the Pam Bondi thing. All right. So people have been saying, what's going on with Pam Bondi? And this is what I mean. Man, you risen up alive, brother. Oh, yeah. All right. Here it goes. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the Pam Bondi news out there, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Here it goes. So, you know, on my show, and I said it earlier, I said God does not like ugly, right? We know God doesn't like ugly, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. Okay, let's go. All right. Let's see. Oh, yeah, it won't let me. Okay. There we go. Okay, can you see it on there? I want to make sure you all can go and look this up yourselves. You see that right there? I think you can see what it says, right? All right. So Pam Bondi was diagnosed with thyroid cancer weeks after leaving Trump's attorney general. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, she seems to have breast cancer. Tulsi Gabbard resigned as National Intelligence Director, citing husband's cancer diagnosis. And then Vanessa Trump, ex-wife of Donald Trump Jr., diagnosed with breast cancer. They're all women. They're all women, right, ladies and gentlemen? And you have to sit there and ask yourself, what's happening? And I say it's very simple. You don't got to be a rocket scientist to understand why getting an education is really, really important. This is a real thing. Cancer is a real thing. And the part that really gets me really upset is I know they have access to health care. They have access to health care. They can go and get treatment. But I also understand what the Republicans did, especially with the big, beautiful bill. What did they do to the American people? They made it a situation. If you look around, a lot of Americans, they no longer can afford to get health care. They've lost their access to health care. And how did that happen? Because the Republicans and their ridiculous policy, it's amazing how Donald Trump keeps saying Democrats don't have popular policies. Democrats' policies are very popular. I would argue most people, and I said it yesterday when we saw the water around these data centers. How many of you want clean air and water? Let me just ask the audience that. Is that a popular policy? What do you want? Clean air and water, or no clean air or no clean water? Which one is it? Thank you. So where is this lie? What does it mean when they say Democrats don't have good policies? No, Republicans do not have good policies. W's in the chat, Gucci. And I get so frustrated with this whole 2% issue, the LGBTQ plus community stuff. And I got to say this, especially to the folk who claim to be Christians. If you truly are a Christian, then you have to come to grips with the fact that God created all human beings, including your behinds, especially you brothers and sisters that get out here and talk about folks in the LGBTQ plus community. So who are you to go tell God he made a mistake? He or she may have made a mistake, right? Depending on how you look at it, right? They made a mistake. You're nobody. You should be focusing on one of the Bible tells you very plainly, save yourself. I don't need a so-called Christian taking a microscope and looking at what I'm doing and trying to regulate what I'm doing. Because every single time, you saw what happened to Kristi Noem. Every single time one of you so-called Christians get out here and start going after the Democrats on behalf of your daddy, we end up finding out some very, very disturbing things about you, right? Sodom and Gomorrah. No, yes. Yeah. And that's all over the Republican Party. All over the Republican Party. I could give you stories on stories. Here's a good example. So how many of you watched what happened in Texas yesterday? How many of you watched the thing play out? I was watching it, and shout out to all the people in Texas that are actually voting for the Democrat candidate, James Tallarico. W. Little Hawk. No. 382 Jim. I need you to stop saying that. Really. Stop running around the internet saying it's both parties. It's not. You've never had corruption like this coming out of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party, to be quite honest with you, sometimes they go a little too far canceling people, in my opinion. I'm like, no, we need a couple of bad boys in the Democrat Party. That's just my personal opinion, especially given what we got going on right now. But it's amazing, honestly, how the Republican Party will look at wickedness, they'll look at evil, and they'll say, oh, no, that's not really that big of a deal. Because what's really more important is, we don't want men playing in women's sports, and we don't want to be doing things and stuff like this to children. But then they'll turn around and go and vote for people who've done things to children, unimaginable things. They'll sit silently. They'll sit on their hands. Have the Epstein files been released? No. Okay, well, why haven't they been released? You got these radical leftist judges. No, wrong answer. See, that's why they don't want me on Jubilee. Because guess what I would do? As soon as I see you start lying to me, I'm just going to be like, you know what? Get them out of here. I don't want to talk to them. I honestly don't want to talk to people who have a hard time understanding what's happening right now. It's really impressive. So let me give you an example of what I mean, having a hard time of understanding what's going on. MAGA eats its own with racist, homophobic attacks on Texas GOP figures. So what we have is a routine get out the vote video from the Texas Republican Party sparked an ugly backlash within MAGA circles yesterday, with conservative figures attacking the state's GOP chairman for being born in India and prominent activist Scott Presler for being gay. The video featured Texas GOP chairman Abraham George and Presler, a well-known conservative voter registration activist, standing outside Allen City Hall in Collin County, urging Republicans to vote in the primary runoff. It was standard party unity content until these replies rolled in. So let's go ahead and watch the hypocrisy of the MAGA party being put on full display by the folks in Texas. All right. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Presler and Republican Party of Texas Chairman Abraham George. You know, of everything he could be doing today, the chairman is here in person at a polling location in Collin County. This is Allen, Texas. And I have been here since 9:30. It's now 2 o'clock, shaking every hand, meeting voters, and it's been a steady stream, which shows me that people know about today, the runoff. I am also concerned, Mr. Chairman, with making sure that once we have all of our Republican candidates, that we as a family coalesce together, united in our conservative values to ensure that every one of them from the top of the ticket to the bottom of the ticket wins, which means mark your calendars. Tuesday, November 3rd, 2026 is Election Day. But again, thank you to our chairman for making yourself available. And where can people go? This is the Republican Party of Texas. What is your website? What is your social media? How can people support you?
Well, Republican Party of Texas website is texasgop.org. All of our handles on social media, such as X and Facebook and everything else, is Texas GOP. But here's the thing, Scott, thank you for being here. You're coming back to Texas and hanging out with us and pushing for conservative candidates, you know, and it all comes down to who do we elect in November. And you're right. Once this primary election runoff is over, we're coming together. We're going to push for every single candidate. And November is more important than anything else we've seen in the last 2-3 decades, because we have crazy Democrats running in Texas and all over our country. So let's come together and get some Republicans elected. Thank you,
Chairman. Appreciate it.
Oh, and you're going to be at the convention.
I will be at the state convention. I look forward to meeting all of y'all. And again, get in line before 7 p.m. today, Tuesday, May 26th. Game on.
How many of y'all found that to be interesting? One Republican, look at what he wrote. Look at what this guy wrote. This is effing nauseating. This is the Texas GOP, a man born and raised in India and a gay guy who doesn't know how to wear boots. Good luck and good night. So these comments, look at them. I can't even read them because, you know, I'm being monitored, but you get what I'm saying. MAGA, they're literally attacking their own. They're attacking their own. I'll let you. I can't even watch it. Well, with the volume on anyway. That's what another. I mean, working with the libs. There is no political right-wing party in America. Well, like them or not, Presler got loads of Amish votes in the Trump. Okay, yeah. I mean, bro, MAGA was always Blake. You know, I can't even say this, but it's literally causing so much divide within the conservative circles. And this is what I have to say. What would make those two who made that video think that they would be embraced by the conservative party? So my lesson out there is honestly, it's really simple. If you believe in treating people with dignity and respect, then you got to vote for the Democrats. You should vote for the Democrats. If you want clean air and clean water, vote for the Democrats. All right? Because look at where you're currently at right now and ask yourself, and W's in the chat for July. Thank you. I've honestly, and I've opened up my platform. It's not just W's in the chat for Rick. And not just me. A lot of us who get out here on a day-to-day basis, right? And you too. What on earth? Straight facts? Yeah. Jim, when do we get to the point where Republicans can honestly express and explain to us all why they are okay with the state of things going on in the United States right now? Uh-oh, look at that. Uh-oh. I don't care about the gifting. It's suspended. I don't care. We're going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I don't honestly know what it was. You know, they told me, they said, Zeus, take the banner off. They said, Zeus, take the banner off. That's been giving you problems. And I said, well, I haven't been getting the gifting thing since, I haven't been getting the gifting violation since I put the banner on. But okay. Well, now that the violation is on, let's go ahead and put the banner back on. Yeah, you see, I'm being a lot more measured. Oh my gosh, because there's so much more I want to say. So I want to get into Donald Trump, and what he is doing to program his base, into voting for more of what we've already been getting. And this is to me, I watched this video and I said, you gotta be kidding me. You really gotta be kidding me. Did someone allow him to make this video? All right, this is.
You know, I'm knocking some of these Democrats. They're really like dumb people. And I said, you know, they should be called Democrats. It's only a one-letter change. Think of it. No E, and you put a U in.
Wow. I mean, this is somebody who really thinks this is brilliant, what he's doing. And for a second, it's hilarious. But in all seriousness, you have to understand, his base eats this stuff up.
You know, I'm knocking some of these Democrats. They're really like dumb people. And I said, you know, they should be called Democrats. It's only a one-letter change. Think of it. No E, and you put a U in. They're Democrats.
I mean, the picture, screenshot this photo of him, all right? Because this is what I mean when I say every MAGA accusation is a confession. He literally became the face of the word he engineered. He didn't even see that. This is what I mean. He literally is identifying himself as a Democrat. Why? Everyone knows Donald Trump used to be a Democrat, right? So that self-owned. It's almost like they don't even see how how bizarre, how ridiculous some of the statements that they make really are, because the way that my mind works, I've always said every MAGA accusation is truly a MAGA confession. So whenever I hear Donald Trump and his Republicans out there saying things, I say, whoa, are you serious? Are you really serious? Case in point, let's talk about what happened in the state of Texas yesterday, all right? What is it? Okay, yeah, here it goes.
Morning Joe starts right now.
He's a threat to our prosperity and Texas economy. He said you can't be a Christian if you support the oil and gas industries. He wants to raise your taxes.
How many out there believe Ken Paxton is a great candidate for Texas? How many of you believe it?
And he won't do a single thing to lower costs for you and your family. And finally, he's a threat to our very way of life and our values. I mean, he's a vegan who thinks God is non-binary and that there's actually 6 biological sexes. It's hard to imagine someone more.
When they start, when the people on the right start talking about all of this stuff, just ask them, hey, where did you get that knowledge and that information from? Before you even allow them to keep going. Because some people, they don't mind, getting in the car and just driving not with no direction. You know what I'm saying? They don't mind just taking you on a ride, but you have to keep in mind, this is a very corrupt individual right here saying these things to you. And yesterday I gave you all a pretty good, maybe it was a few days ago, but we had a very lengthy discussion about letting a wolf in the hen house.
Radical than that.
Ken Paxton embodies the broken political system that we're running against. He is the most corrupt politician in America. 3 years ago tomorrow, he was impeached by his own party for using his public office, his position of public trust, to enrich himself and his donors at our expense. And that is exactly the problem in our politics. It's puppet politicians who serve themselves and their billionaire mega donors instead of serving us. It's why we can't afford anything. It's why we can't get ahead no matter how hard we work. The system is rigged by corrupt politicians like Ken Paxton.
Wait, let me play the next part. I think Morning Joe made a very good point, but then I want to weigh in on this.
And that is your matchup for the Texas Senate seat after Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's dominant win over four-term incumbent Senator John Cornyn
and every
in a
Democrat
primary runoff election.
Every Democrat in America, Willie, says thank you.
Well,
Because what they have just done, by this guy right here, by overwhelmingly doing it, which is, again, all people say, oh, there needs to be a strong Republican. Really? This is what the Republican primary gives you? No, I don't think there needs to be a strong Republican Party, especially if this is what the Republican Party produces. But it's hard to estimate. Did Texas Republicans just cost the Republican Party $20 million?
definitely cost them money.
$30 million? $40, $50 million? $100 million that they could have spent in Maine.
Wow.
That they could have spent in Iowa, that they could have spent in Ohio, that they could have spent in Alaska. Like, they have cost Republicans maybe $100 million that could go to other competitive races. Meanwhile, really, Donald Trump has enraged Republican senators who are now saying, okay, first of all, you get this Yahoo that you endorse. And now we're going to have to work with, rightfully, very angry John Cornyn, Tom Tillis. Just
John
go,
Thune.
yeah.
And you get the message. What I want to say is this, especially to James Tellerico. It is not going to be enough to simply say Ken Paxton is a bad person, because we've already seen how Donald Trump, all you're doing is handing out Ken Paxton's calling card. Honestly, when you start listing out all the bad things he's done, we know what MAGA represents on this show. What you really have to do, and and this is really, I mean, they should be reaching out to Big Zeus, but I get it. They don't value what I do until it's too late. You have to talk to these folks that are struggling. Don't go and talk to the people that are flying high. No, go talk to these folks that are struggling and show them the real information and show them how they are struggling is tied to the policies that the Republicans have implemented. That's the only way. That is the only way. Make sure you show them the fake news, all right, that's coming out on TV. Say, no, this is 100% fakes. Let me explain to you why. Let me explain to you why your gas prices are high. Your gas prices are high because we're in a war. And who started that war? You got to talk to these folks like this, okay? Because the moment you start doing that stuff where you say, oh, well, this is a very bad person, all they're going to do is they're going to go into their comfort zone, so to speak, right? And then they're going to start thinking, oh, you're just saying that to weaponize, to try to demonize the Republicans. All right. And I also want you to know there are real Republicans out there. They're not going to vote, or they're going to sit it out, or they're just not going to vote for, Paxton. They're just going to sit it out. So you don't got to really worry about those. But to the independents out there, yeah, you got to get out there and show them why they are suffering right now. You got to explain it to them how this is all engineered to make matters a lot worse. And honestly, how their vote might not even count in the future. All right. So stay away from his record. Because if you're this deep in the game right now and you don't know Ken Paxton's record, then you're really not following the news, right? Do your own research, right? So that's a W, Zeus. You know, it's funny because, you know, I don't talk to Trump voters, it seems, right? They don't want to come up here and listen. When you talk to the Trump supporters, you can always bring up every single issue that Donald Trump did. And all you do, this is what I found out, all you do is get them excited. When you start listing out how immoral of a person Donald Trump is, oh, it's like a kid in the candy store. Tell me more. That's the guy. That's my man right there. That's how they get. So you gotta actually start getting people out there to say, okay, if this is truly working, then where's the evidence of it being successful, right? And just leave them right there. Leave them on red. Exactly, Rick. And here's the thing. When you ask these people that brand themselves as intelligent, you just go back and you say, so you survived Donald Trump's first term, correct? Yeah. All right. So how would you rate his presidency? And if they say A+, leave the conversation where they're at, because these people have an agenda. I would rather, and you got to think like a criminal. Wouldn't it be easy to make a bunch of money if you could convince people to vote for you? And then when you get into power, you could abuse your position. Wouldn't that be the easiest way to make a bunch of money, right? Vote for me. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to do all these things, right? Thank you, Rick. Yeah, what do you want me to do when I get into office? And you list off A, B, C, and D. And they say, yes, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D. They get into power. First thing they do is they fire the inspector generals. They get rid of these people that could possibly look into all any kinds of, the corruption that they're doing. They relax laws. They issue pardons to people who are doing the similar thing they're trying to be doing. Once they set it all up like that, then they can go ahead and just rob the piggy bank as much as they want. Who's going to say no? You're going to leave it up to these people that are coming in and already demonstrating to you they have bad intentions? You're going to leave it up to those people to actually look out for you? And that is a fair question. I think you should start asking the voters, especially when you know they're suffering. Okay, what makes you think someone with billions and billions of dollars cares about you? Tell me right now, and get your notepad out. Why do you think Donald Trump, with all of his money, cares about you? I think that's a fair question any voter should be able to answer. W, Chris. To the people who are in the audience right now, and they think that I am somehow, paid by the DNC, they make up these stories. Could you answer that question? Why do you think a billionaire like Donald Trump cares about you? He never cared about anyone. Michael asked me, do I think Obama cares about me? Obama doesn't personally know me, but I would say going off of his track record, yes, Michael, I really do believe President Obama cared a lot more about me than the president that we currently have. And I'll just give you something real simple. The Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, that lifted a lot of people out of poverty and gave a lot of people that never had health insurance, it gave them access to health insurance. Was it perfect? No, I'm not going to sit up here and say that it was perfect, but it definitely, in my opinion, was a step in the right direction. Obama always treated people with dignity and respect, regardless of who they were and what their politics were. And I believe leadership honestly starts at the top. Obama was a president that no matter whether you liked him or not, he was giving you a lot of jewels to help you become a better person, whether it was the way he carried himself or through some of the policies. So Michael, again, I don't get how your mind went to Obama when I'm sitting up here talking to you about what's happening in 2026. And that's another thing that a lot of you out there got to stop doing. You got to stop going to what happened in the past. That's the reason we're in this war right now. Thank you. Yeah, Obama W. That's the reason we're in this war right now. You allowed Donald Trump to convince you we needed to go back 47 years to prosecute something that that happened 47 years ago. And you know my rule. If you want to go back 47 years, what's stopping you from going back 400 years? What's the difference? Because you know where I'm going, slavery. what you did to the women in this country, what you did to the indigenous people in this country. Why are we only stopping at 47? Interesting. I think I figured out why. Let's talk about what happened in Alabama yesterday. And this has to do with racism and watering down the black vote. They tried to gerrymander the maps, and the 3-panel judge said, no, you can't do it. Racist. And this is happening in 2026. Again, when I was in school and they teach you about Black History Month and they tell you about what was happening, they go back to like civil rights movement too. They try to make it look like slavery and racism was a thing of the past and we no longer had to deal with it. But here we are in 2026 having a national conversation about it.
Once again, blocking Alabama from using a congressional map at the center of a years-long legal battle over voting rights.
A 3-judge panel ruled the state's Republican-backed redistricting plan likely discriminates against black voters and cannot be used in upcoming elections. News 19's Dallas Parker joins us now with...
So the judges have confirmed that it discriminates against who? Let's just get it out there. Who does it discriminate against? You know me, I like to pause it to make the point. The answer is right on the screen. Hey, Michael, are you looking at this? Black people. And to this day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still searching. I really am searching on what is the issue that this country continues to have with black people. If you don't want us to talk about racism, then stop being racist. It's really simple, but it's comfortable for you to be racist from the way that I see it. And so as long as you want to continue to be racist people, just understand a lot of us, we're not going to be quiet while you're being a racist person. No, it's going to be a lot of conversations and it's going to be difficult conversations. But what else do you expect? You think we're going to just sit back and watch you rob us and continue to rob us? Absolutely not.
What the ruling means for Alabama voters and the state's congressional districts moving forward.
Well, guys, this latest decision keeps in place the court-drawn congressional map used during the 2024 elections, a map that created 2 districts where black voters make up either a majority or near majority of the voting population.
So 2 districts to help give black people some representation. Where's the crime? Where's the sin in that? Where's the sin in that? And I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there in this area claim to be Christians. Where's the sin in asking just for a little representation? Where's the sin in that?
Judges say Alabama's legislature previously ignored court orders when lawmakers approved a different map in 2023 containing just 1 majority black district. The redistricting fight has stretched on for years after civil rights groups argued Alabama's congressional map diluted the voting power of black residents. In 2023, federal judges ordered Alabama to create a 2nd district where black voters would have an opportunity to elect a candidate of their choice. A court-appointed special master later drew a new map that was ultimately used in the 2024 election cycle. But after a recent U.S. Supreme Court ruling weakened portions of the Voting Rights Act, Alabama lawmakers attempted to revive a Republican-backed map with only 1 majority black district.
And so you want to, and again, when I see people on social media, non-black people, talking about slavery and things like that, I say, you're totally out of your league, because you have to recognize that in the United States of America, the institution of slavery included pillars. There were pillars to reinforce the restricting of the black people's movement in this country, and not just the physical restriction, spiritual restriction, financial restriction, active measures taken, whether it was legally, whether it was through the culture. You know how they do their culture vultures. They make sure that they put out propaganda to make sure people get it in their heads that black people are subhuman, so to speak. They use derogatory terms. You know what I'm saying? So we got the legal, we got the racial, we got the educational institutions that are doing this. Did you know a lot of this, and this is for Blaga, a lot of the endowments from the universities, Harvard, Yale, University of Pennsylvania, a lot of their endowments were created and funded off the profits of slavery. Did you know that? And then you want to sit here and say, oh, well, in 2026, just get over it. Well, Tell Harvard to get over it with all that money they got. Tell Yale to get over it with all that money they got from them Southern plantation owners. It's really impressive how a lot of people want you to get over the abuse and the trauma because it never happened to them. But as soon as it happens to them, oh, we need to change the laws. We need to change the laws.
Now, a federal panel says that plan likely amounts to intentional racial discrimination and cannot move forward for the 2026 elections. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall has already said that he plans to appeal the decision back to the U.S. Supreme Court, saying he is, quote, disappointed, but...
Now, this is the funny part, and it's not really funny. He can't wait to rush and get to the Supreme Court to try to appeal this. And I'm sitting here saying, why appeal it? Let black people get the representation that they deserve. A rising tide lifts all boats. And if America understood that to be true, they would understand if you want to fix this country, you got to start lifting the people in this country up. And yes, that includes the black people that you brought over here, all right, from Africa and their descendants. You did this, MAGA. You did this, you racist. These people, how you going to go to Africa, bring a bunch of people here, and they get mad that they're here while you're sitting on trillions of dollars? Something's really wrong. You can't make this stuff up, folks. I mean,
he's disappointed, but not at all surprised. That three-judge panel has again struck down Alabama's blandly unobjectionable congressional map that has been in place for decades. Now, Governor Ivey released a statement shortly after the injunction came down.
Here she goes.
Alabama's redistricting battle continues after federal judges temporarily block use of our 2023 congressional map. I fully support Attorney General Steve Marshall's appealing of this unsurprising decision to the...
So the governor is supporting the Attorney General running to the Supreme Court to place more barriers on black people, more restrictions on black people. I mean, this is why I say you can't really tell people she's racist. You got to explain it to these folks, what she's doing to them. She's basically saying, I do not want you to be able to participate in what's happening in this state. I don't want your influence on any of the decisions that are being made. I want you to stay in that limited position we intended for you to be in when this country, when this state was founded. You got to tell these people like that, especially the black folks out there, because they'll sit there and watch her do this and then they'll say, yeah, she's right. And I've always said this on my show. You could go look this stuff up. A lot of black people during when slavery was legal and then we had the Civil War, there were a lot of black people in the South that thought if they fought alongside the Confederate, they would get their freedom that way, as opposed, to trying to go north, and meanwhile you had Harriet Tubman, Underground Railroad, Sojourner Truth. You had all these radical and abolitionists out there trying to help these black folks get free, but it's hard to do when your mind's been gone. When your mind's cooked, I get it. All right. Now, let me see. So all I'm going to say is this: if do better out there. All right. This issue about slavery, it will never go away as long as we know that there are people in powerful positions in the government that are actively engaging in heinous acts. These are in a way, crimes against humanity. What on earth is your issue with black people where you don't even want to allow them to vote? That says a lot. So if you are a black person and you want your vote to count, guess what I think you should really do? Vote blue. Yep. And I'm going to leave it at that. If you go and you keep voting for these Republicans, then all I'm going to say is, I don't want to hear it from you. All right? Because the first thing I'm going to ask you, who did you vote for? And if you say, I voted for a Republican, and I'm going to say, you did that in the year of 2026? Yeah, okay. Where have you been? Honestly, because I've been on social media for over 6 years. Right, Ange? Have I been over here for 6 years, right? WVIP? W Great Skate. You mean you've never ran across me or any other content creator? You've never seen any of our videos where we've been calling this stuff out? You must have been living under a rock. If you've been living under a rock, okay, fine. Let me give you some new information. And if I'm giving you the new information and then you're actively fighting me and you're resisting it, I'm just going to say, you know what? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, because you can't educate these people on one TikTok. You can't educate these people in one TikTok live. It reminds me, you ever seen somebody in a math class trying to learn some new math Have you ever seen this, folks? No, be honest. Have you ever seen somebody, you're trying to explain to them what, let's just take, for instance, a derivative is. You try to explain to them what a derivative is or an integral. You know what their mind does? You can literally tell them 5, 6, 7, 10 times and they won't get it. The only way you will get it is if you humble yourselves and acknowledge that you don't know what's happening. And then you start to do the investigation and you start looking into this stuff yourself. That's really the only way you can learn. No one can open up your brain and put it in your head. W Zeus, WVIP. The last thing, ladies and gentlemen, that I want to cover, because, we cover so many things on this show. Let's see. It has to do with Thomas Massie. I'm watching Thomas Massie because, I think sometimes there's going to be unintended. Oh, I don't have it. Darn it. There's going to be unintended consequences as a result of the Trump administration. Hold on. There's going to be these unintended consequences as a result of the Trump administration constantly. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Creating enemies, all right, like they're doing right now with Thomas Massie and Corinne in Texas, right? So hold on. Yeah, and so what we end up doing, ladies and gentlemen, is we keep getting. Oh, I think this is it. No, this isn't it. Never mind. I don't have it. I think I thought I had it, but I guess I don't have it. We'll deal with it next time. You know what we'll do? What we'll do is we'll open up the boxes and hear from those of you who are brave enough. I thought I had it, but I have to go back through my notes and find it. But you know what? I'm looking at the time. Yeah, we're around that time. All right. And thank you for whoever is supporting the platform. WVIP. Okay. I think I can turn off the text right now. Let's turn the text off. We don't want to get us into any trouble. All right. Let's go ahead and open up the box and hear from those of you. You know what? This is an open platform. As long as you're willing to get up here and be truthful with us, it'll be a great show. But if you get up here, WZena, if you get up here and we can't get you to at least be honest, then it's not going to be a really great show. All right. So we'll bring up our first guest, Germ. Good morning, Germ. How are you doing?
Good morning, Zeus.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm all right. I think I hit the request button by mistake.
Oh.
I donate those 2 galaxies.
Okay, thank you. All right, then. Thank you, Germ. Oh, yeah. WJ. We put that rule into place, but that's an honorable thing for you to do. Keep your word. All right. Let's move it on to my good friend, Orlando. Good morning, Orlando. How are you doing, brother?
Doing great, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I want to just come up here and just say this real quick. I don't normally come up here and just get racial at all, okay?
Correct.
But what you said really, your opening monologue really touched me, okay?
Okay.
Because what I just realized was, I realized it a long time ago, but what really hit home to me is, why are they fighting so hard to gerrymander these districts? Because they realize what we don't. And when I say we, I mean we as Black people. They don't realize, or they realize, excuse me,
Yeah, they do.
how powerful we are.
Thank you, Jer.
They realize how powerful our vote is, how powerful our dollar is, how powerful our voices are. And I grew up in the era of Public Enemy, the X-Clan, like all those hardcore conscious hip hop groups.
Yeah.
That really woke up my conscience.
That part.
And I think that needs to come around again.
Thank you, brother. I really do appreciate you sharing that, right? Because a lot of people, that part of what happened in America seems to have been forgotten, right? But at one point, at one point, I believed we were all kind of in, we're talking about black folks in general. We were pretty much on the same page that we needed to maintain the momentum that, the people before us had began creating in order for us to get progress. And I would honestly say after Obama became the president, something happened.
We got complacent.
From your lips to God's ears.
Yes. We got complacent.
KJ, you said who should leave the white nose candy alone? Who are you talking to, KJ? No one's doing that. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They want to accuse black people of just being some of the. You talking about Donald Trump? Okay, I get it. He's talking about Donald Trump. Okay. Fair enough. Or Don Jr. Got it.
No, so the thing is, you have to keep doing what you're doing. Okay? You got to keep doing it. You sometimes when you say, some people say that I don't go hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the nicest people on TikTok.
I do say that.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I say it. You do need to go harder.
Well, the thing is, I've been having backdoor conversations. All right, so I do need to moderate myself a lot better. And as you can see, it's been a little bit more of a smoother show, but I leave that to folks like you. So that's all I can say is, Orlando, folks like you, please continue to go hard. All right. And make sure you stand for what you truly, truly believe in. All right. Because I think we need more of that here in the country. And keep reminding the folks that have lost their way, that they're on the wrong path. They need to get back on the right path. Right. Because to your point, a lot of us did get complacent when Obama got into office.
Yep.
Don't change it to PA. All right. All right. Well, thank you, brother. All right. Thank you, Orlando.
No problem.
And tell the
Real
missus
quick,
I said hello as well.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. She's over here saying that. Yes. I just wanted to say my wife said, what's up?
All right.
And to all y'all know, she is Mrs. Orlando, but her name is Birdie.
Birdie.
Okay, Birdie.
All right,
Yes.
Birdie. Good morning, Birdie, and keep up the great work.
Okay.
All right, bro.
Thank y'all.
Yep. Later. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got our good friend Takesha coming up here. Wow, what a great show. Hi, Takesha. How are you doing? Hey, how you doing, sis?
I'm good. Let me give you some numbers right quick.
Okay.
45th in education out of 50 states. 8th, poorest state out of 50. Mortality rate, top 5. Healthcare, 47th out of 50 states. Crime, violent crime, 22nd out of 50 states. Alabama don't need to be worried about gerrymandering no maps. They need to be trying to worry about getting their state up.
Yeah.
Because it's been like this ever since it's been under Republican control. I don't know why the people in Alabama think that just because you got a red behind your state that make you look good. We are ridiculous when it comes to ranking, Zeus. We are at the bottom of everything, Zeus. There's nothing good you could pull up about Alabama except for the Crimson Tide football team who has gone down since Nick Saban retired. There's nothing to be proud about in this state. Our governor keep telling us she ain't nothing but a high stepper and can barely step up on the curb. We are ran by racists, and racism is real in Alabama. I live here.
I thought since the civil rights movement, Takesha.
Zeus, I don't even think these folks know it was a civil rights movement down here. I believe they still think the slaves going through the Underground Railroad in Alabama.
Just sad. And this is what I'm saying, Takesha. They want us to stop talking about racism, but yet they're actively doing everything they can, using the institution of slavery to limit the movement of black people in your state.
You know what I tell them?
The way those numbers you read, I would have thought Governor Gavin Newsom was running Alabama. To be honest,
Let me say this, Zeus. When they say they tired of talking about racism, I tell them I'm tired of hearing about the 2020 election. When Trump get through talking about that, we gonna stop talking about racism. We know he ain't gonna get through talking about that,
Yeah.
so we not gonna get through talking about racism.
Wow.
We wasn't even really talking about racism until he hit the scene and made it more prevalent.
Wow.
These people wasn't going around acting like this before Donald Trump hit the scene, Zeus. Think about it. When have we ever had a Karen?
Mm.
A white woman bold enough to walk up to us and try to get jiggy. When has that happened, Zeus? Back in the day, it wasn't happening before he came.
Nope.
When have you ever, where Chug the Builder come from? When were they doing that, Zeus? Before Donald Trump hit the scene. He's emboldened these people. We weren't bothering them. They weren't bothering us. We all lived in the same neighborhood. Our children played together. Now, all of a sudden, you don't want me in your neighborhood. You don't want my child playing with your child. It's ridiculous, Zeus.
Wow.
I would have rather it still been hid than to be on the forefront for my grandbaby to experience the mess that we got going on now.
Ain't that something? Why?
It's sad out here.
W's in the chat for Takesha. Why do you think they keep voting Republican out there? Dano speaks. Are you crying or mocking Takesha in the audience? Is there something that we missed? What's so funny?
What did Dano say, sweetie?
He says wah and boo hoo. He thinks you're up here crying.
You know, that's the ignorance, Zeus. I will not even confront ignorance today because I don't even have the energy to confront ignorance today, Zeus. Drano gone down the drain. I know it said Dano, but I'm going to call you Drano.
Would you care to
Drano speaks. That means he down the drain. He ain't talking about a doggone thing, Zeus. I'm not standing Drano.
Thank you. All right, fair enough. He says he has common sense, and so
He does not.
wow.
He does not. Because if you voted for Donald Trump, you definitely do not have common sense.
Thank you.
And they're not giving it out in the gas station, so you can stay out of there too.
Thank you. Only way out, Dano, is through the guest request. If you can't actually speak in coherent sentences and articulate why you're making these statements, then it's better that you just kind of just zip it, because what you're doing is distracting people. Common sense, yeah, I agree, Jim. Yeah, sorry, Takesha, but you know sometimes we have those.
No,
moments.
you're okay, Zeus, because at the end of the day, Zeus, they have nothing to talk about. All they have is the same thing their president has, which is insults. You got a grown man who is supposed to be representing both parties now. Even though you're a Republican president, you are the president of these United States. That means you're the president of Democrats, Republicans, Independents. Here you get on a national stage and call the Democrats. There's nothing serious about this toupee wearing, diaper wearing, face mask wearing man.
Well,
Who is taking him serious, Zeus?
a lot of the MAGA men, and I use
Because they have. I ain't gonna talk about it, Zeus.
no.
The fact, Zeus, that there's a grown man in such a high position that is not serious, that is a bend over Bobby for Iran. Because that's how he a bend over Bobby.
Yeah.
He's making money off this war as well as his children. And y'all keep saying he doing it because he want to keep America safe. He got y'all locked, stocked, and sealed on foolishness. This man cares nothing about the United States. And when y'all finally figure it out, I got some bridges that's going to be empty that y'all can get on because you're going to try to take your life. It's going to be just that bad, Zeus. When the cover come off of Donald Trump, you're going to see bridges full of MAGA.
Wow. I agree. W's in the chat. Wow. Well, you know what I've been saying, Takesha. You saw the information that I shared out about, Pam Bondi.
Man, let me tell you something.
Who else? Those women.
Sometimes, Zeus. Sometimes, we all have to reap what we see.
Yeah.
But sometimes your reaping don't be on you, it'll go to a family member. Like that woman husband. Like Pam Bundy, your reaping You got to reap for the evil that you do before you leave here. Going with Donald Trump, mistreating people, you know, but regardless to whether somebody trans or not, God created us all.
That's that part.
All of us. We all come here as sinners. Nobody came here straight from heaven going back to heaven. It said we were all born in iniquity, we were all born in sin, shaped in iniquity. That means we are all sinners when we come here. Nobody can talk about nobody because no sin is greater than the next.
Yeah. It's simple.
Stop talking about people. Y'all want to bring up Sodom and Gomorrah. Do you know why he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah?
Tell them to.
It had nothing to do with homosexuality.
Tell them to keep.
He said, if I could find one righteous person, I'll spare the city. That means that the people that were faking to be Christians were over there too, and he knew they was faking.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Because if they weren't, he could have found just one righteous person. That let you know you can fake Christian and fool other people, but you can't fool God.
Amen.
So stop using that story to justify your hate for people that do stuff differently than you.
That part.
You need to try to get yourself together. Go read the whole chapter and find out. He said, if I can find one, I will spare this. He couldn't find one righteous person. And that's sad. He could walk in a church with people with their hands up and can't find one person in there for real about their salvation.
Ain't that something?
That's what's sad. And that's what's going on in America, Zeus. They're using God as a platform, but none of them are truly saved. And that's why this country is that's why the country is like it is, Zeus. We're for destruction because of our sinful, hateful ways. We too prideful. We don't care about nobody else. We got a leader in who's up there just line his own pockets. He using God as a table, and you can't do that. And I'm gonna leave you with this.
Tell him.
That word says, my name is on their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Just because somebody say God and Jesus does not mean that that's what's in their heart.
Amen. Amen.
Y'all have a great day. Thank you for the gift.
They love you, Takesha. Thank you for always being able to take time and get up here and give us those beautiful, beautiful words of encouragement because we need it.
Love y'all too.
All right.
Y'all have a great
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't this one of the best shows on TikTok right here? We spread nothing but love. Yeah, when we Takesha, you brought up a very, very good point. The fruits of the Spirit, love. These are the fruits of the Spirit according to the Bible. You can go read this in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 through 23. Bible, chapter, and verse. The fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And you have to ask yourself, do the Democrats show these fruits more, or do the Republicans show these fruits more? Which is the party out there actively going after black people, actively going after people in the country based on how they look in terms of their immigration status, going after women, trying to restrict women and their ability to have their own identity? Which of the parties is going after other countries and blowing up schools with little girls in it, stealing resources from another country, propping up a person that was once upon a time, they say, best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, who actually said Epstein was a terrific guy and loves to have fun and party with women on the younger side. It's Republicans. Brown-eyed girl, and I know who you are, brown-eyed girl. She wrote Biden, he went after black and brown. You know what Biden did, brown-eyed girl? Biden appointed the first black woman as his vice president, put a black woman on the Supreme Court justice. What are you talking about? You know what Biden never did? He never allowed ICE agents to unalive American citizens in the streets. He never allowed them to get away with doing that. Yes, Sleepy Joe. It's amazing how, and this is what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, when you're telling the truth to these Trump supporters, we really should get points. And this is what I should say, that especially like on that TV, I watch it, Jubilee, when they start pivoting and talking about Joe Biden and the Democrats, just you got to go over there and sit down, because you have no ability. You really don't have the ability to dwell in reality, because it's real clear the truth hurts. And I get it. Why does the truth hurt? Because when you've invested a lot of your time and your energy into one thing and you don't get the outcome you wanted, it's kind of hard to let it go. I've been there. A lot of us have been there, especially if you want to start talking about relationships. But one of the best feelings in the world you could get is learning how to let go of something that's not really good for you. I mean, it helps both you, it helps everyone out when people can say, you know what, maybe this isn't the best relationship. This isn't the best situation for us to be in. Let's cut our losses, cut bait, and go on and do something else more productive and constructive with our time. But instead, especially with MAGA, for some strange reason, I literally read scripture to a person out there, and if they're a Christian, you know what the devil does when they hear scripture. Oh, who are you to be reading it? And as soon as I started reading what the fruits of the Spirit were, the devil all of a sudden jumped up inside of her and made it all about Joe Biden. Who was talking about Joe Biden? Who was talking about Joe Biden? I'm sitting there going, am I in a different live? Did I just teleport into a right-leaning space or something? I wasn't talking about Joe Biden. But you were. So if you're a person out there that sees evil being committed by Donald Trump and you keep defaulting to Joe Biden or Obama, I want you to know you can get saved, but you have to honestly repent. W. Zeus, you have to repent. And that's why I say a lot of you should not even be talking about politics. You really shouldn't be talking about it, because what you're doing is you're exposing who you really are to a lot of us. And we're sitting here saying, well, if you would lie to me about something obvious, then I know you would lie to me about a lot of other things that aren't so obvious. You know what I'm saying? We know that about you. How you start is how you finish. If you would lie about what is going on with Donald Trump and the fact that he's not releasing the Epstein files, if you would lie to my face, bold-faced lies, these people will lie in your face and be very proud about it. Isn't that crazy? These folks are proud to be sinners. Yes, because I'm proud to be a sinner because guess what? Joe Biden. I'm proud to be a sinner because guess what? Kamala Harris. I'm proud to be a bad person and a wicked person. Guess what? Obama. Do me a favor, MAGA. Ask Chud the Builder. Tell Chud the Builder, because he was, you know what he's done, going around calling black people the N-word. Tell him to go in front of the judge. Try this. He's being charged with whatever he's being charged with, facing serious time. Shackled in front of the judge. Go in front of the judge. Your Honor, I hereby command you to release me. On what grounds? Joe Biden. Obama. He can even bring Kamala Harris. Yeah, I just said, you know what they are. And ask yourselves, will the judge release him? It doesn't work like that in the real world. So if it doesn't work like that in the real world, why are you trying it on social media? Why don't you tell your family that you tricked them and deceived them into voting for Donald Trump and the Republicans, and that's the reason that they're struggling financially right now. That's the reason that they don't have health insurance. Tell them that the hatred in your heart is the very reason why they're suffering. You won't do it, though. That's a huge W, Zeus. Gotta bring up my brother Nutty. You know I'm the nice one. Good morning, Nutty. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. How are you? How is everybody in the kingdom?
We're doing good. We're doing good so far.
Great. I want to talk to you
Mhm.
about racism.
Okay.
So we going back to January 6th. We've heard everything there is to hear about January 6th, about it was the FBI, it was Joe Biden's FBI, even though Joe Biden wasn't even in the White House.
Correct.
It was Antifa, it was BLM, it was BLM. So that's interesting. The state of New York is passing a bill as we speak to tax anyone who receives anything from that fund, from that slush fund, at 100%. At 100%. So MAGA, you mean to tell me that Donald Trump, who we know is a racist, we know he's a racist. You mean to tell me he created this slush fund for black folks and for brown folks? I'm gonna get in line. You gonna get in line, Zeus?
Nope. You can though. I'm not going to touch any of that dirty money.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna touch it. I'm gonna get. Where can I get mine? Where can I get it?
I'm not judging you.
And I'm glad I'm not in New York, because New York is going to tax it at 100%. Can y'all imagine if we actually tax billionaires at 100%? We wouldn't have a financial issue in this country. Social Security would be secure. Medicaid would be for all. We would have daycare. We wouldn't be taking food out of children's mouths. So we would be practicing Christianity in the sense that we are to do good and to seek justice. That's an interesting concept, isn't it?
Yeah. New York is not taxing anything. Hey, brown-eyed girl.
So brown-eyed girl. So we often say, especially on this panel, don't believe us, fact check us. So instead of getting in the comments because you're deep in your feelings, why don't you go look it up? Why don't you go look it up? Because I suspect that the brown-eyed girl name is because you're full of shit. So go look it up. So anyway, what's cracking with you, brother? I can't hear you.
And it's an Assembly's man's theory. It's not anything anybody has. It's a proposal. Maybe you need to learn how to research.
Okay, are you done now?
I muted her.
Hey, Zeus.
All right, you heard what she said.
Hey, Zeus, when I came up in the panel, did I not say they're in the process of passing legislation?
Yep.
Did I say it was a done deal?
That's bullshit. You did not, you friggin' liar. You Democrats lie. Hey, Zeus, why don't you play back what he said?
How would I do that, Taurus?
Because you record all of these.
Okay, but I'm in the middle of a live, Taurus. So that
so what?
So
figure it out.
So you know what's funny? There's over 1,000 people in the room right now. So 1,000 people were listening, except for you.
1,000 people. You're so full of shit.
Hold
Antifa.
on. So
really are.
Taurus, your mouth is very filthy, ma'am. Your mouth is very filthy.
See,
you kind of.
I hate it was this panel because I know how you run your panel, Zeus. Because I truly wanted to engage. But I'm like, I got to remember where I am. I wanted to engage.
If she would stop cursing and control herself, I would be more than willing to engage. But you just can't come up here, given the gravity of everything that we got going on the show, ma'am, and just overstep your boundaries. There's boundaries, right? Nutty said what he said. We all heard him.
Again, why is she so up in her feelings? Because I just presented what's going on in the New York Assembly at this moment.
Taurus, Tara, she got the backup account.
At this moment, I just told the kingdom what was going on in the New York Assembly. Why is she so butthurt with me? I live in misery.
Yeah, because she's suffering. Honestly, Nutty, what you said opened up her mind, and she's suffering. She knows it. She lied to us and told us about all this money she's been making. She's doing great. But honestly, there's a reason she keeps coming back to this show. Because she knows.
I would like to know that reason too. Because as much as they claim that they hate you, as much as Democrats supposed to be liars, where do they always show up? in Monday through Friday at this time of morning? Where do they always show up?
Right here with
They
us.
always show up. They always show up where the people lie, where the people are stupid, where the people are dumb, but they always show up here.
Yeah, they have to. Because they know that we're not lazy intellectually. We do our homework, we do our research, and we bring information to them. And in her mind, she's thinking, I'm listening to them so I can go and battle the Democrats a lot better. But the entire time she's thinking that the ship she's on is sinking. And she doesn't understand she's on borrowed time. As a matter of fact, you're going to lift up your eyes one day and you're not going to be able to say anything because you're drowning. You're drowned, boop, gone. You got to wake up, Taurus. You really do.
She's not going to wake up. You're wasting precious oxygen right now. But let's, before we get out of here, so the primaries were held yesterday. So we know that Ken Paxton is going to go against James Tallarico.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not anti-James Tallarico, but I was definitely pro Jasmine Crockett, but Jasmine didn't win. So now I'm pro Tallarico. So I think, I hope Texas really, really makes a resounding declaration by putting James Tallarico in the United States Senate, because Ken Paxton, Texas, really? Really? I mean, crooks are going to crook.
Facts.
Crooks are going to crook.
Facts.
Texas, you just keep outdoing yourself each and every day. Texas, I don't know. We need to talk about that Louisiana Purchase again. And can we get a refund?
Yeah.
Can we get a refund?
Yeah.
Because that was a horrible purchase.
Unfortunately, but I think if Tallarico gets out there and doesn't play this game of, well, as long as I point out Ken Paxton is a bad person, I have a chance. If he really gets out there and actually, what I like to think of is inspires people. He has to work on inspiring people, right? I think he can really do it. He can really do this.
I think he will.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I've watched him. I've watched him on social media. He's a good orator.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Christianity? He's someone that will appeal across the lines of Christianity.
Yeah.
Because he does call out. I got to give credit to where credit is due, right? Yeah. He does talk about his faith, and he seems to live his faith, and that's something that's refreshing to see for a change.
Yeah.
Someone that's actually trying to live their faith instead of being a hypocrite.
Facts.
Like Brown Eyed Girl.
Taurus.
I
was wondering where Taurus has been, but now I see it. She's in here on her backup account. All right. And that's an alarming thing, right? But she's right. You're right. Are you going to be reasonable, Taurus? Do you want to talk to Nutty? Is that what you want to talk about?
I would love to have her up here.
If you're going to be reasonable, all right. Oh, you're not Taurus? I thought it was Taurus. Wasn't that Taurus?
Well, whatever your name is, welcome.
Someone said it is, yeah. Hey, you notice that I didn't warm it up and I haven't been flagged. I told you all, listen, I have to make some tweaks on the show in order to make sure I'm not getting taken down. And I got to say, you all have been doing a great job adjusting. But if you're operating outside of the boundaries, and that's not just for you, Taurus or Brown Eyed Girl, anyone, then we got to kind of put a lid on it.
Even if you don't warm it up, Zeus, we know where she's going. So
thank you.
I mean, it's all great. Did she agree to kind of like control herself?
I didn't see her agree to control herself. Let's see. I know the audience hates it. I know the audience hates it when I do this, but listen, how many of you all know the Sharks need to eat today, ladies and gentlemen? There needs to be a feast. Okay,
because I would love to talk to her.
Okay, well, I sent her an invite. She didn't want to come up this time. I guess she had to get back to
work.
I
saw her comment that said, "Bring me up."
I did. I sent her an invite, but I saw her comment too, and I sent her an invite.
Oh, so now she's in the corner with the arms crossed saying, "I'm not Taurus. I'm not Taurus."
Because the chat knows you. They know your voice. They know you. The profile pictures. It's not like you can deceive us. Like, and listen, ladies and gentlemen, you might as well think of Big Zeus. You ever seen these wildlife, these people out there in the wildlife, and they grab these snakes in the wild by the head and stuff. You could just imagine me doing that when MAGA gets into my box. It's a little bit of a dance, but eventually you got them, and then you got to do what you do with them and show the world this is what the snake does. You know what I'm saying? W's in the chat. Yeah.
Well, listen.
She didn't want to come up.
She's not going to come up, so I'm not going to hold you. So we're going to get back out there. We're door knocking just for an hour today, and then we have a meet and greet.
Yeah.
And so, we're going to have what they're entitled coffees and cookies. So people are going to come out to be able to ask the candidate questions.
Okay.
And so I'm going to be in the hot seat, and I'm ready for it because
when is this?
So this is today.
Okay.
This is today.
Is it going to be
1 o'clock.
filmed?
You know what? I will have my campaign go on social media.
Bro.
I will do it.
We want to see that. We got to see you.
I
in
will.
action.
I will do it because this is what we mean about holding people that's running for office accountable. So what I'm going to be doing today, y'all, I'm going to be standing there fielding questions from people. I don't know if they're Democrats or Republicans. Probably Republicans because where I'm running it's Ruby Red.
Got it.
But I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm going to speak my truth, and the truth will always set people free.
Amen. Amen, brother.
It may lose me an election, but you know what? I'd rather lose an election instead of be caught dead as a liar.
Thank you. I agree. W's in the chat for our good friend, Brother Nutty.
So, do good, seek justice, and y'all have a great day.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our Brother Nutty, No Lies Detected. Select the bad rest. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Yeah, man. More life, man. More life to the kingdom, man.
Thank you.
I was on early, and I heard you talking about slavery and all of that, bro.
Yeah.
And for a black man who grew up in Jamaica, bro, you know what I mean? I know about it, right?
Correct.
Because the thing about it is, my G, I know you're a musician, right? And I don't know.
I don't play instruments.
know.
I just get in there and lay down vocals. I wouldn't take the respect from the musicians away.
Okay. Now, the reason why I said that, bro, right? We have a lot of black artists out of Jamaica who sings about these things, right? Not only Bob Marley.
Right.
You get me? Not only Bob Marley. They have this great singer who sing about slavery, goes by the name of Burning Spear. You need to listen to him. You need to listen to Burning Spear. He got a song, No One Remember the Days of Slavery. You get me? You need to listen to these brothers.
Okay,
and this is the
found
reason
him.
why.
I found him. Actually, he's touring in Denver, Boulder, Salt Lake City. Okay, he got to see.
You don't stop touring.
Okay.
You don't stop, right?
Yeah.
This man is a freedom fighter, and he put the messages in the music, right?
Okay.
And this is what he does. I need to when you take your time and listen to him, right? It's just as Peter Tosh and these guys, right? They sing about all of this, right? And this is the reason why a lot of white people, they don't like us as black people because we're messengers. We know how to get the message across.
Right.
A lot of us use it in music, right? We use music to tell the stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And the whole reason why I see a lot of these black men, these black megas, they don't support Kamala because she's half Jamaicans, right? She's half Jamaican, right? Her dad is Jamaican.
Yeah, I do know this, but it's interesting you brought that up after you just said what you just said. Oh yeah, please.
They don't support her, bro. And I see a lot of these FBA black guys, and I heard how they talk bad about Jamaicans and about the Caribbean people, but they forgot the fight that we fight for every black people freedom. We just don't fight for Jamaicans. We fight for every black people freedom, such as Marcus Garvey and all these great leaders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Look,
they don't know their
right?
so it's two schools of thought, right? And I've said it earlier. I think you heard it. You know there were black people who fought alongside the racists. During the American Civil War, I should say. And what we're dealing with is the fallout as a result of that. And then, obviously you have folks that were on the side of the abolitionists. But your point is accurate. The resistance, it wasn't unique to just the United States. Now, I haven't looked too much into Jamaica just yet, but I'm going to. And actually, not just Jamaica, but honestly, all the way down to South America in terms of, what were the factors that contributed towards the situations that we currently are in right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And this is the thing. This is the thing, Zeus. Right? I heard a lot of these black men bloggers. They're
Yeah.
talking about they need reparation from and all of that, right? And they would not give black people who actually from Africa, right? They would not give them any respect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't give them any respect. But and most of these
Wow.
black men, I'm 47, Zeus.
Okay.
And I know what it's like to work in the plantation because my grandfather was an uneducated black man who actually worked in the plantation, in the sugarcane plantation. So back in the days when you grew up in Jamaica, you don't have any options more than to go to the plantation with your grandparents.
Right.
And but them times it was different, bro.
Mm.
We have to work in the cane fields. The sugar cane, we have to work in the sugar cane that were owned by white men.
Wow.
Right? And those times we have to chop those sugar cane with machete, and then we have to tie them in bundles, and we have to throw them up on a trailer. We
Right.
have to pack them in the trailer. Now they got machines doing all of that, but before it was black men who's doing all of that work, blood.
Wow.
We have to cut those sugar canes. First, what they do, they burn the sugar cane, burn it, put it on fire, and it burned for a day. And then we have to goes in with our machete and we have to cut those sugar canes. When we come out, bro, we black, like we blacker than how we black, bro.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of work, hard work. Yeah, and I believe it 100%. I believe
Bro.
you. That's backbreaking work.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? As a youth, and let me start with my dad, blood, right?
Mhm.
Because my dad, I grew up. My dad walked out and my mom when I was 5, and he got married to a white woman from Canada. By that time, that white woman had a son, which is a white son, and my dad gave that boy everything, Zeus. He gave him everything: the university, the college, the car, the house, everything, Zeus. Meanwhile, me have to cut sugarcane with my grandparents. You get it? So this is the thing that I don't understand. Why some white people get it so easy, but whenever we black people talk about slavery, they said we should forget about it and move on. We should not talk about it. Right?
Wow.
We should not talk about it.
Wow.
This is the thing that get me so mad when I see these brothers out here talking like Donald Trump is right. I heard they just asked him the other day, like, what you think about monitoring all of these states? He said, I think it's a good thing. He said he think it is a good thing that black people cannot get to vote, so the Republican can pick up more seats.
Yep.
Huh?
He said that out of his own mouth. He said that. Donald
Out
Trump
of his
did
own
say
mouth,
that.
dude.
I heard him say that. Yep.
He think it's a good thing. So what are we doing? What are we doing, blood? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make this be long, man. I'm just gonna take 2 minutes and cut.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is,
What are we
blood,
doing? That's a good question, though. What are we doing here? Seriously.
You understand my blood?
Yeah, I understand you. I feel it.
I see, and this other guy, Dame, bro. He, as my brother was saying a while ago, if you don't like the space, why are you in these spaces? Right? You see how Dame talk about trans people, right?
Yeah.
And I see him on a trans live the other day. A guy who's a trans, he was on his live.
I'm not
you know what I
shocked.
mean?
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
Yeah,
I'm not shocked
you know what I
because
mean?
every MAGA accusation is a MAGA confession. And
Okay.
this is why I say, why are we disrespecting God's people to begin with and acting like being a because if you just brought up slavery. At one point, it was black people catching hell. So if you've experienced that and you know we're still dealing with it, you should already know demonizing any group of people is evil. Case closed. I don't want to be a part of it. And so it just, to me, it bothers me when you see people of color, especially brothers, doing it. You're like, whoa.
My brother, and this is the thing, man. As I said,
it really hurts, honestly, when you see your own
it hurt
people
me a
do
lot, my blood.
Yeah.
It hurt me a lot to know that I'm not in the U.S., never been in the U.S. My dad lived in the U.S. He got 25 acres in New Hampshire. He
Yeah.
got 4 acres in Miami. Never been there. I'm not in. If I'm planning to go, is after Trump come out of office.
Okay.
Then maybe I would go to see what it's like. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But my brother, just listen to that song from Burning Spear. Do you remember the days of slavery, blood?
I'm going
It's
to.
deep.
You got me. You
It's
got me
deep,
hooked,
my
brother.
brother.
All right. I got
All
you.
right.
All right. And thank
All
you for
right.
coming up here. And honestly, enlightening and educating us, in terms of your history. Because honestly, your history is still, in my opinion, part of the American history that needs to be told. We don't want to suppress this information out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Barros.
Thank you, my brother.
All right.
One love to the kingdom.
One love
Yes,
to
sir.
you, bro. One love. Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
See, ladies and gentlemen, isn't this one of the most, every day I go live, honestly, it's really like just, honestly, I don't know where this show is going to go, but I enjoy it because I know I'm always going to walk away with something I've never heard before. And that's honestly part of what keeps me going. But that's a good question. And people really do need to be prepared to answer. And I want to also say that I'm not one of these people that believe all white people are bad. Honestly, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for some of the good white people out there, right? So, and they're not all white liberals, right? Liberal women. It's just people who want to do the right thing. And that's what this is truly, that's what this journey has honestly been about. It's not necessarily the fact that at a certain point you were doing bad things. It's really about, what did you do when you found out what you were doing wasn't the right thing, right? Did you stop? Did you see the light and change course, or did you keep going in that direction? And when we're seeing out here what we're dealing with right now in this country, we call it MAGA, but really it's just it's an ideology of people who really don't want to learn and be better. That's what we're dealing with in this country. They want to remain uninformed. They want to remain ignorant. They want to remain evil and wicked, and they don't want you to say anything about it. And I'm going newsflash, ladies and gentlemen, select newsflash. A lot of us, we have zero tolerance, because here's the thing. This is where I am at, and maybe I'll change. I've done a lot of bad things, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have done a lot of bad things you've regret. But when you do the work it takes to kind of become more of a better person and say, you know what, okay, fine, I'll take accountability for my behavior, and you start chiseling away and unpacking, and you start realizing, wow, I've been a bad boy, so to speak, then you see other people out here trying to cheat and go, oh, no. If I had to do the work to become a better person, then you need to go ahead and get started. And if you're doing the work, I'll be your best cheerleader. But once I see you just flat out rejecting it and saying, oh, I don't need to do the work, okay, then I have a zero tolerance attitude for that type of nonsense. You have to be willing to take accountability for your behavior, for your actions. And MAGA refuses to do it. MAGA refuses to take accountability for their behavior. MAGA refuses to take accountability for their actions. And so as long as MAGA continues to do that, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get more people like myself speaking up and denouncing every single thing you represent. That's my little soapbox moment. You know what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Jim. How are you doing? Are you there?
Good morning.
Oh.
Can you hear me? Yeah, it was weird. I kept getting bounced from the box, so I
Oh.
wasn't sure if I was in there or not.
Yeah, you're here. You're here. I see you.
What a great show you did this morning.
Thank you.
Number one, I wanted to address the Good morning, Kingdom. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I wanted to address the Pam Bondi cancer story and the Susie Wiles cancer story.
Please do.
And the Vanessa Trump cancer story and the Tulsi Gabbard's husband cancer story, the symphony of sympathy they want. Because I'm pretty sure that the former sitting president announced he had cancer, and what did they do?
I
They wished
agree
him
with
death.
Yeah. They did do that.
They wished Joe Biden, the man that came into office and fought for the American people and passed more legislation than any sitting POTUS in history, they wished him harm. They mocked him. They made fun of him. They said it was old. They said he needed to unalive. Joe Biden was riding bikes during his presidency. Just for everybody who forgot, he was riding bikes. He wasn't sitting down eating McDonald's. He was riding bikes. He was playing with his dogs. You know, say what you will. You don't have to like the man, but you need to absolutely respect the job he did while he was in office, because he actually passed legislation for the American people fighting for the American people, not enriching himself. And that's a fact. And he will go down in history as one of the most consequential presidents of our time. And this person sitting in office today will go down in history, not just here in the United States, but worldwide as one of the most corrupt leaders ever. Just let that sit for a moment and stew. The next thing I wanted to talk about that we keep bringing up is Texas. We keep talking about Texas, and everybody's talking about the Paxton-Tallarico battle coming up, right? What everybody needs to be more concerned with is the AG's office, because nobody's talking about that on the news right now. So for all of you who aren't paying attention, Chip Roy did not make it as Texas AG. Chip Roy, who actually, and can't believe I'm saying this, who actually certified the election in 2020, who actually did the right thing. You have Middleton, who just got in, who is an election denier, who literally said that as the AG, he will do whatever he can to deny Democrat votes. He will deny it. So for all of you not paying attention to that race, I suggest you go look up who just won the Attorney General's position taking over for Paxton. Because you have Paxton, who's one of the most corrupt people on the planet. You have Middleton saying he is going to do whatever it takes to take away the votes of Texans. So I suggest if you are in Texas, this is what you need to be drawing attention to. You need to be talking about how important your vote is and that you need to vote in numbers too big to ignore in Texas. You need to make sure you're photographing your ballots, that you're undermining the corruption that's in Texas. You need to be talking about Middleton, because the more we ignore things like that, the further we get away from what's important. And that is they are trying to still the voice and the vote of brown and black people in the state of Texas and throughout this country. And then you brought up Joe Biden. Thank you so much. I always talk fast because I always want to get it all out. Then you talked about Joe Biden and Ketanji Brown Jackson and VP Harris. And those are the two people that stick out in our minds because those are some of the greatest appointments in history. But did you also know the absolute magnitude number of federal judges that he appointed to the bench that were women, that were black, brown, and Asian in this country? Because if you haven't researched that, then you don't know Joe Biden. Because Joe Biden was doing the work for the American people to make sure that our federal judiciary looked like the entire country. He was looking towards the future. He was protecting the judiciary. He was protecting the American people in ways that nobody's paying attention. And you all need to start paying attention. I know that it's really easy to look at the front view of everything, but sometimes you really need to be looking about what they're doing underground. And speaking of underground, did you know that the Board of Peace has not been funded? You know, the Board of Peace where he went around the globe saying, no, wow. There's not a penny in the fuckers.
Wow.
Where's the money, people? He sold you a bill of goods. He told you that all these countries were on board and that they were each going to donate a minimum of $1 billion.
Wow.
There should be at least $17 billion in those coffers. But no. There's not a penny in there, guys. Where's the money?
Where's it at, DJ?
Where's the money from all of Doge?
Yeah. Where's it at?
Where's the money? I mean, I don't know. I mean, as an American citizen, I think it's really funny how you guys keep falling for the okie doke every time this man or this administration speaks.
Yep.
You keep falling for the lie.
Yep.
And at what point does it come knocking on their door?
Knock, knock, knock. Yeah. And then
I know, right?
Tell him, Jim. Tell him, Jim.
What?
You've asked a very good question. Where is the money? And you hear the crickets? You were talking, and DJ brought up AutoPen when you mentioned Joe Biden. He didn't know that case that they were trying to bring against Biden had been dismissed. Why he said that? But he can't answer a simple question about where the money is at. DJ, what a disgrace! What a disgrace you are. This is what I'm saying.
Is he in here right now?
Oh yeah. As soon as you started talking, I hadn't seen him all morning, and then all of a sudden he had something smart to say.
How cute!
To you.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. So he has no answers.
DJ stalks. He stalks me.
Yeah, he does. No
Yeah,
answers.
I think it's really I think it's really important for people to start paying attention to what's really happening in this country, because it's not just the things that are in your face. It's the things you're not paying attention to.
Yep.
It's the money that's going into a fight on the White House lawn that's literally demeaning to our country. It's literally about destroying historical things that are ours, the American people. We, the taxpayer, everything that this man does, it is us. We are the ones paying for it. This administration is not paying for it. We the people. Every piece of toilet paper, every meal he serves, every plane ride he takes, all of it is our dollars. So I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you call yourself a progressive or whatever.
Yep.
If you're not paying attention to the bigger picture and you keep focusing on these little fights, you are going to lose your democracy.
Tell 'em.
You are going to lose your country.
Yep.
And I don't want to
Rika, go ahead, get it out.
I don't
Jen.
want to give up on the American people. I don't want to do that. But when I hear people who are so, I don't want to be mean. I'm trying to be better when I say this.
We can say it, and then if there's other ways that we can get it out better, but I think getting it out, knowing that you're coming from a good place is what matters. That's how I look at it, So,
You can't compete on a world stage and dumb down your people. You can't compete on a world stage
True.
and sicken your people. You can't compete on a world stage, poison the wells and the waters. You can't do that. And so I think that every morning that I wake up, I try to think of a way that I can get the message out there. And I come on to these panels because I know that panels like Zeus's and panels that give information, dedication, fact-finding missions, those are the places that I want to surround myself.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that every time we speak, that we cause a ripple effect, that they take from this live and they go to another live and they share that information.
Facts.
Or they research it, or they look up the numbers, or they talk about Middleton, because Chip Roy is another one bites the dust. A person who literally voted lock, stock, and barrel with the Trump administration and sold his soul. He's now on the same sinking ship as Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and all the people that literally stood up for their constituents at one point in their life. And now their careers are going to be over because they succumbed to following the corruption and the lies and the white supremacy and the misogyny and the homophobia, all the things that they made you look towards the otherisms and look away from the crimes that they were committing.
Wow.
Look away from the thievery of stealing from our
Cindy.
U.S. Treasury.
Yeah.
Firing
Rick.
inspector generals, firing military service members, firing veterans, firing doctors and nurses that serve in the veteran community. Y'all need to recognize that this isn't just happening in somebody else's world. It's happening in yours.
Yeah.
Those were people that served your government and served you, the American taxpayer. And now you're going to have to clean up. Well, some of you and we won't be here. It's going to be our children and our children's children that will be cleaning it up.
What a
I just wanted to say that. I'm kind of melancholy today about it, but I just love you. I love your show. I love who you are as a person.
Thank you.
I love that
Love
you
you
reach
too.
out across the lines. And I thank you for all you do. Thank you, Kingdom, for always being so kind and supporting me as well. I appreciate every single one of you.
gotta give
Keep
it.
the fight up, guys.
Thank
In
you.
every corner of this
W,
country,
Rick.
we have got to fight.
Thank you. Wow. W Jim. Yeah, and I want to say I love you as well. Keep up the great work. Iron sharpens iron, and I think that's what makes shows like this pretty powerful, But again, W's in the chat for the beautiful Jim. Look at them. They all say they love you.
Appreciate you. Have a great Wednesday, everybody.
You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, look at that. Yeah, Jim brought up a very, very good point. Joe Biden nominated, or no, Joe Biden appointed almost 90, 89 women of color, which is more than triple the previous record of any single president. And we're talking about him appointing 144 women to lifetime federal judgeships. So I think that is very important. 144 women to lifetime federal judgeships. All right. That's a lot. Triple what any other president has done. And they want to get on social media and bring up Joe Biden in the negative of the most negative ways. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's really insufferable at this moment listening to people. What do you say when people openly just start spouting out lies? What do you start saying to these? I don't even want to call them people. These are creatures. These are weird creatures. Who do we got this morning? Stay launched. Good morning. Was this an accident or did you mean to do this?
I am so sorry. It was an accident.
Okay, fair.
You were in my pocket. I apologize.
Okay.
I love you.
Love you too, Stay Launched. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Stay Launched. Yeah, W's in the chat for Joe Biden. Lovely. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Zeus.
Good morning.
Yes. So I'm a Liberian. This is my.
This is a lot of noise in the background, Lovely. It's a lot of noise.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Barely. It's a lot of noise, but I'll give you a
Okay,
good minute to say what you need to say.
Yeah. Just a second. So I'm listening to your show. And I'm so blessed to be a part of your show. Almost like a year and a half now.
Thank you.
So when I work, I usually put my earpiece in my ear.
Okay.
But what I want to say is that you are doing an awesome job. And I'm a Liberian. I came here and I got my citizenship.
Okay.
So, so I just want to let you know that you are doing an incredible job. And
Thank you.
there are so many things I did not know. I'm still trying to study and do research because of you. All the things that you say, you, Jim, Tekisha, Nutty.
Yeah.
I love Nutty so much.
Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that, Lovely.
You don't. No, I love you too. But he doesn't blow or bite. And you too, you are doing an incredible job.
Thank you. You're doing incredible too.
The economy is so hard. It's not easy when you're a single parent. You have to work to pay all your bills. Can you imagine? My rent just went up with $100, and there is no explanation why my rent went up. There is no upgrading and stuff like that. And it wasn't like that because when I went to the office, they said, "Oh, the economy is so hard." So you see how things going. My light bill used to be like maybe $30, $35.
Yeah. What
Can
is
you
it now?
imagine my light bill usually when it come now is $90, $100. And I go to work, I don't come home until maybe 3. I try to switch everything off.
Wait a
I
second.
even
Did
try
you,
to take
Lovely? You said your light bill went from $30 to $90.
to $90. Yes. $90. And I go to work, I go to work by 5. Drop my son off to my cousin place, and then I go to work. I don't leave work until 3. I make sure and switch everything off. I don't keep my television plug, nothing, because I learned it consume lights.
Yeah,
And
I
I
heard
use
that.
and
Yeah.
I don't even use the yellow bulb. I even use the energy bulb. So things are getting so much hard. Before that, I used to put like $40 to $60 in my car because I use a Nissan Pathfinder 2019.
Yeah.
So usually I use like 60, 65 and
Don't
put
say
on my
it.
tank.
Don't say it. Don't say it. What is it now? You used to put
Now,
$60 in your gas.
yes, because I use premium because
Yeah.
of premium
Yeah.
last. But now I use close to $110 to fill my tank.
Why would
so
anybody?
hard.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel better paying that kind of money knowing that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon? Does it make you feel better when I say that?
No, 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 no. It hurts so much that when you
Wow.
putting gas in your car, you complaining, you feel so bad. Even sometimes my little brother come around, can I use your car? And I'm like, no, you can't use my car because of gas.
Yeah,
I don't go anywhere. I try to stay home. Like, usually go somewhere, take
Yeah.
my son. So now things are getting so like hard for people, and then other people sit there and they're seeing things. It's not only affecting me, it also affecting them. But I don't know how they feel like in this stage, and things are affecting them, and they're there and still trying to justify.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Zeus, I don't understand. Like something, I don't know. These people that are doing these things, sometimes I hear him saying that, oh, we talk. I don't know what to say. I think these people are possessed because it's only somebody who is possessing evil and
Yeah.
seeing how the economy is, and then they are still justifying. It's because they are evil. Because someone who is evil and want to see evil, they doesn't care. I
Yep.
think this is what's happening. Well, I
Yep.
just want to say thank you. I just want to let you know how the economy is high. It's not even affecting only we, because when I voted for Kamala. And right now, I even have my cousin, one of my cousins who voted for Trump.
Right.
And they also are Liberian. We used to go back and forth, and now they have realized they don't even like to hear anything that concerns him because it's affecting every one of us. And sometimes I would say, you see, when I used to say this, when I said that, you people used to say this. Before then, racism wasn't like this. My friend just moved before I go off.
Yeah.
My friend just moved to a place. Friday, I went to go and help her to move. So,
Wow.
when you're moving, it will be a lot of noise.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Friday,
Just keep up
we
the good
moved.
work.
Yeah,
Just-
so Friday, I'm about to leave. I just want to explain something to you. Friday,
Okay.
we moved. So, her car couldn't go through the door, so we have to unscrew the door so the cats can be able to pass the chair, the stationary chair. So when we decided to put the door by, well, like I think 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you have to use the drill. So
Yeah.
it started making noise. So the next door neighbor, he's a white guy, he came. He was so upset. We talked to him, we begged him, we said, oh, we just tried to unscrew the door, but we can't leave it open because we're not sleeping here, we have to go back. You know what that guy did? My aunt went and apologized to him, said, oh, we're very sorry, it won't happen. As soon as we put the door back, we closed the door. Later on, it didn't even take 2 to 3 minutes, the police came and knocked the door. So when we opened the door, we said, what happened? He said, oh, your neighbor just called the police and said that you're disturbing. So I was like, we just talked to the guy and appealed to him. We didn't do it on purpose. So why would he call the police? So my aunt was so mad, and why he did, because I said that he did it because we're black.
Wow.
Yes. So he was like, I don't know what you're doing. You people came, you're just disturbing, you don't have no manners. That's how you black people behave. So how do you call that? How will you just say something like that to us? And then you still turn around and call the police and say that we were disturbing. So all these things, then there are people, the racism or the racism is within them. They couldn't hide it because it wasn't showing, but since Trump came into power, he just made that. It's just like if you have
Wow.
something
They're more
sitting somewhere,
comfortable with
and
it.
it just so that's what happened. So I just want to say thank you for your show. I always
Thank you.
every morning I make sure I charge my iPad, my phone, just to run. I listen to you, even if it's time for you to talk and I have my friend on the line say, oh, can I talk to you? I will call you back and I will make sure and listen to you.
Thank
So
you.
Zeus, God bless you and God will protect you. No harm. Nobody will cause anything because you are doing the right thing and for the right cause. I'm praying for you every day.
Thank you.
Nothing will happen to you and everybody in the kingdom. Let's keep pushing and to help each and every one, whether you black, you white, so long you are doing the right thing, you are doing the right cause, God is going to see us through. In
Amen.
Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Wow, thank you, lovely. You got it out, and I appreciate you sharing that information with us. It's so unfortunate that even in America right now, we have these people running around here causing harm to women, especially women of color. What a huge disgrace. But I thank you for staying motivated and inspirational.
Thank you, Zeus. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
All right. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Well, listen, what a great way to wrap things up. Well, listen, I want to always give you all a huge round of applause. All right, we made it, and believe it or not, we didn't get flagged today. All right, except for one point, we got flagged at one point. So maybe there is something to what I'm doing. Oh, July. Thank you. Look at that. Yeah. So we're gonna keep trying to, yeah, right, Rick? July. You got, God blesses in so many amazing ways. You all are amazing. And there's my good friend Ange. Thank you, Ange. Always doing a great job destroying the MAGA demons with your platform too. Yeah, you see that, Takesha? They don't call me the Rizzler for nothing now. Come on now. Looks can be deceiving, but I'm sure after watching a show like this, you all will be believing. Thank you, Zena. But on a serious note, yeah, we're going to continue this work, trying to get the truth out there to make sure we continue to wake up the electorate to what the Republicans are doing. Obviously, it's a lot of deception going on. If anyone is saying anything to you and it sounds too good to be true, you really should start to think maybe it is something we should stop and look into. W. Zena Smith. What we didn't get today, July. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, you see that? Thank you. But yeah, on a serious note, yeah, what I've learned so far, anyone out there, if you're interested in building up your social media platform, I can help you if you want to, but you got to be willing to actually, think about what it is you want to do, because I'm learning a lot. And I think as more information as long as we continue to bring out more information and wake up the electorate, I think that's what's going to be what is necessary in order to combat the misinformation and the disinformation. All right. Thank you. 400,000. Yeah, look at that. Thank you. We must continue to inspire. We must continue to, unpack all of these negative things that people are struggling with to make sure that they understand that if you go into that voting booth, honestly, why would you vote to make your living situation worse? And that's what you're going to end up doing. That's the easiest thing to say to the folks that are voting Republican. Either don't vote at all or vote for the Democrats. All right. You got to do it this time, because if you don't, Donald Trump will bring more of what he has already brought so far with this second administration, which is way more pain and suffering, way more wars, way more acts of illegal behavior, corruption, all of that. Why would you want more of that? And you get absolutely nothing, right? W's in the chat for Zeus. Thank you, Pauline. So on a serious note, let's go ahead. I didn't do it all show, but we did have one demon that was brave enough to get in the box, and we cooked her, didn't we? We got rid of Taurus. Taurus didn't want to come back up after Nutty did what he did. Should we send the demons that were in the audience today chirping? Should we send them to hell before we get up out of here? The Zeus haters. Do we do it, ladies and gentlemen? Because you see, I didn't get flat. Do we do it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure. Join me in warming this up. This is probably the most... This will get you in trouble on TikTok. I'm just going to be honest with you. Join me in sending these MAGA demons where they truly, truly belong. Straight to hell. I got to get out of here after this. Please, TikTok. Educational purposes only. Educational purposes only. Educational purposes only. Silence. Educational purposes only. Educational purpose only. Jesus Christ, you all twisted my arm. You really did a number on me, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get on out of here, ladies and gentlemen. And you know exactly what that means. We got to play everyone's favorite song. Who just did that?
What about Biden? Yeah.
What about Biden? Love you too.
What about Biden?
Hey.
Read the votes.
Put all the dead dang right. What about Biden? W. Rick. Love you too, Cindy. Economy dying, can feed your child. 13 soldiers gone. Joe acting blind. Thank you, everyone. We did it. I couldn't have done it without you. Yeah. What about Biden? This is all we get from MAGA. This is all we get. But this is a sad song, seriously.
Up in the White House, call him Sleepy Joe, cognitive decline.
Everybody know.
Stumbling words, can't finish a sentence. Pumping on strings, who pulling the leverage?
Hunter's laptop.
Bullets the bill. China cash flow, million conceal. Family getting pain, influence pedal while we out here struggling, pockets unsettled. Weaponized OJ, FBI raids. Mar-a-Lago storm, but Hunter gets praised. January 6th, locking up brands, but Joe's
classified docs in his garage bank.
Keystone cancel, energy weak. Depending on foes, gas $4 a week. Crime in the cities, soft on the streets.
Right, Evan. Big Doug. Thank you. Come on, y'all. Angel. I don't think you all are putting your heart into this. Right, Rick, have a great day. But honestly, sing the words. Sing the words, brother. What about Biden gas price? Wow, the economy dying. Can't feed your child. Woo. Here it goes. 13 soldiers gone. Joe acting blind. Marissa, thank you. Big friend. It's a really sad song. Aviator, I love you too. Here it goes. Ask this question to him. What about him? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right. Great show, Curtis. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow. We didn't get in trouble. Let me get up out of here because you know we sent someone to hell. We don't want to do that. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your morning.